Hello, I'm Greg Harrison with the USDA Market News Service here in St. Joe, Missouri with your National Feeder Cattle Summary this week. Feeder cattle this week took a pretty good hit compared to last week. All weights and classes of feeder cattle and calves traded mostly $10 to $15 lower, in many cases and instances $20 lower. The market started lower late last week on Thursday and Friday with some declines, and declines just got steeper this week as the week went on. Feeder cattle market has enjoyed a great joyride this fall, but it sure encountered some hurdles, got thrown in its path this week. Pressure began to build late last week on Thursday when feeder cattle contracts closed limit lower, and then for the next 4 sessions traded limit lower. So 5 sessions in a row of feeder cattle limit lower losses sure put the feeder cattle contracts, they just got caught up in an ugly free fall, and this really spilled over into the feeder cattle market this week. And there's many cases this week too in the feeder cattle market, especially here in the Midwest, looking at a lot of sales where you've seen some of these plainer cattle and odd colored cattle, small packages, odd packages, singles, cattle that were fleshy, unweaned, full, really just fell off the face of the market report. It's quickly become, for the month of December this week, the Grinch that stole Christmas for the feeder cattle market, and he's leaving some pretty good lumps of coal in the feeder cattle market this week. So this week wasn't very merry for the feeder cattle market. More bearish news this week was with the cash fed cattle trade market. The last 3 weeks we've seen the market go from 173 and now down to about 156, 157 in Kansas on live sales. Choice box beef prices since the 1st of December have dropped near $15, trading in that $2.42 range. And we got a slump in crude oil prices, and crude oil is trading near or around $55 a barrel, which is good for the American consumer, leaving more money in his pocket to spend on something other than gasoline, and hopefully more on meat protein. Also this week, the Russian ruble has taken a tumble, falling crude oil prices lower, and it's got record lows now against the dollar. This does have an impact on our global markets and economic concerns in Russia, which puts a decline in their purchasing power as they're a large importer of products. And this possibly can cloud some of the demand picture for meat protein looking in the future. Packers don't really need to buy a lot of fat cattle for the rest of the year, as they have their contracts and formula purchases pretty much taken care of, and they will only kind of pick at the edges on negotiated sales for the next couple of weeks till the end of the year. It's uncertain how the feeder cattle market will play out, but so far the cattle feeder has been bailed out by price enhancements that we've seen in the fat cattle market, but over the last 3 weeks we've seen the fat cattle market take a pretty good tumble too. Packers have had negative margins for quite some time, and trying to regain some of their profitable margins back, and which usually has to take aim at the cattle feeder. So this week, feeder cattle market pretty much got aimed at too, and it pretty much traded 10 to 20 lower. Might have seen a little ray of sunshine here on Thursday. We've seen some of our live cattle contracts and feeder cattle contracts come back with some pretty good gains. Hopefully this will it's found its footing and can regain some market back in that. Next week we will not be doing the National Feeder Cattle Summary, as it is the week of Christmas. A lot of the auctions will be closed for Christmas, and we all here want to wish all of you here at Federal, State, and Market News Service, wish all of you a very Merry Christmas filled with joy and blessings. So thanks for listening. Be back with you in a couple of weeks.